You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Today we're talking about insulin resistance. Let's get started here. We're going to talk about insulin resistance. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of physiology, okay? You're going to start your day with a little bit of physiology because it's important to understand why we're going to talk about this, and it always has to do, you do not secrete insulin without food. So insulin is a food hormone. The disaster in society today ain't COVID. Well, even with COVID, we talked about it. It's insulin. Because people who get sick from COVID, unless you're in a senior's home, okay, which is disaster if COVID gets into a senior's home. No doubt about that, okay? An old age home, that is not a good place for COVID. It spreads rapidly and they got no immune system. But anybody else that gets sick, just about anybody else, and what they've shown this to be 100% just, odd exceptions, but very few, is if you have what they call a pre-existing condition. But the pre-existing conditions have everything to do with insulin. We use way too much of it. Your pancreas, remember, I always show you a pen. It's the size of your pancreas, and inside of a pen is ink, and inside of your pancreas is a hormone called insulin. And when you eat, you need insulin. And the only thing that you need no insulin for, really, is fat. So if you're an Eskimo, right, living up in the Arctic, you don't need your insulin because you're eating nothing but blubber all day long, right? Either fish or seal, organ meat, and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what you're eating all day. You don't need insulin. But the rest of us do, because we eat the modern, crappy, carbohydrate food. Bread, pasta, rice, cereal, sugar, sweets, pastries, juice. We talked about that yesterday. Milk, alcohol. They're carbohydrates. And look, insulin's job primarily is to make energy from your food and put it in your cells, and when your cells are done, they have to store that sugar. Can't leave it in your bloodstream. So insulin's job is like the traffic cop. Out. You, come over here. You, sugar, you can't stay there. Okay? The police, the traffic cop says, you out. And what happens over a period of time is a condition that at the Martin Clinic, we coined it high circulating insulin or insulin resistance. Okay? Meaning that for too long, it doesn't take long, by the way, but for too long, kids have insulin resistance. 5-year-old kids have insulin resistance. Because they live on noodles, they live on pizza, they live on crappy dinner, and they live on juice boxes. And they got insulin resistance because their cells are so sick of seeing insulin, the cells go, hey, get out of here, I don't like you. But insulin has no choice. It has no choice. It must take sugar and get it out of your bloodstream. It must. It has no choice. And if it takes even more insulin resistance is, you know what, cell? You're going to listen to me whether I like you or not. I'm parking that sugar inside of you. When you have no more room, too bad. Your cells go, hey, I don't like it. But you know what? Insulin will just secrete more and more and more to do the same job. Okay? Now, here's the good news. You can fix insulin resistance, which is at the root of heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, autoimmune. It's at the root of it. It's food. Now, you can, in the first week of the reset, okay, so folks, if you're doing the reset, please, because I just read a little, I think it was an email, or they might have been on the Martin Clinic Facebook group. Oh, Dr. Martin, I started the reset and I haven't lost weight yet. You're a woman. Don't be so hard on yourself. But one thing, if you just do what I tell you, one thing I guarantee it, you already, if you're in day 5 or day 6, in the first week, you will lower insulin resistance. You literally, at the cellular level, where this counts more than anything else, at the cellular level, you have already changed the shape of your cells. Already, in the first week. See, guys, if you rely on the scale, don't rely on the scale. That has nothing to do with insulin resistance. Insulin resistance needs to be fixed, because I just want to tell you something, okay? I want to tell you what happened yesterday in the United States of America. I don't have the Canadian statistics. I only have the American statistics. Yesterday, in the United States of America, 2,400 people died of a heart attack or stroke. 1,700 people yesterday, May the 5th. And by the way, yesterday was the coldest May 5th in recorded history in my hometown. I don't know about this climate change. It didn't get the memo in Northern Ontario. If the planet is heating up, I'm not here. Anyway, it was a beautiful day. The sun was out, but it was freezing. So yesterday, when the world is focused in on COVID, and it's a 24-hour news cycle, what passed us by yesterday was that 2,400 people died of a heart attack and stroke. 1,700 people died yesterday of cancer. 400 people in the United States yesterday died of Alzheimer's. And 300 people died of diabetes. Now, I want to tell you something. And then never mind the people that they said yesterday died of COVID. I don't know how many in the United States died yesterday. I guess I could look it up. But I want to promise you something. If they were in an old age home, and that's where the vast majority of them died, I guarantee that, they had a pre-existing condition, never mind just old age. They had trouble with insulin. I almost guarantee it. So this morning we're going to talk about some of the, you know what I know about cars? Nothing. I like driving, but I don't know anything about cars. Especially in this day and age, everything is run by a computer. True or false, right? All the cars are computerized. So, good luck trying to fix anything, right? But you wouldn't give it to me because I don't know how to fix anything on a car. But you got the check engine lights, right, that come on, okay? And they're very sensitive, so even if you didn't tighten up the gas cap, the flashing light will come on, okay? But it could be something serious or not. But I want you this morning to think about these things that I'm going to talk to you about, checking the engine light, that are signs that you have insulin resistance, okay? So I wrote down 18. I don't know if we'll get to all 18, but let's talk about it. The first group of things are called metabolic syndrome, okay? So the reset is meant to fix metabolic syndrome. It will fix it in 4 weeks. Fix it. In the first week, you're going to change your cells, and they will no longer resist insulin. And the less insulin you need, the less inflammation you make. See, when you make insulin resistant, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Your body has check engine lights, right? Let's say you wake up with, out of nowhere, you got pain. Well, that's a check engine light. Pain, right? Why do I have pain? I didn't have it yesterday. Today I have it. Well, that's a check engine light. Your body's smart. It's just trying to tell you, hey, something's wrong. Might be your back, might be your gut, might be your knee, might be anything, right? Check engine light. What about swelling? Yes, swelling. Edema. That's a check engine light. I mean, there's a reason for it, okay? Your body is smart. It's fearfully and wonderfully made. It's trying to tell you something. Hello, I got edema. I have swelling. Why? And there could be, 100 reasons why. Fever. Your fever. You got a fever? Check engine light. You got a virus. You got a bug. You got a bacteria. Your body is saying hello. It's a check engine light. Fatigue. I wrote a book years ago, Energy Robbers and the Fatigue Cure. What I mentioned there is the number one sign that your body is going south. The number one sign that your body is going south is fatigue. And I don't mean you get up in the morning and, it takes you, 5 minutes to get the cobwebs out of your brain and all that. That's normal. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Just like, Doc, I'm low energy. Well, that's a check engine light. Your body's saying, hello, there's something wrong. Check it out. Could be the thyroid. It could be your adrenals. It could be anemia. It could be a lot of things, right? But doctors are supposed to ask questions. So if you go in and you say, Doc, I'm tired, well, he might say, I'm tired too. Don't take that as an answer. You want to investigate. So insulin, when you have insulin resistance, you will have inflammation. Okay? That's a fever without a bug. You're going to have inflammation. And one of the first signs that you have inflammation, it's silent, you might not have any pain at all, is fatigue. You're tired, you have inflammation. And one of the things, the biggest thing you need to check is your insulin resistance. And guys, don't wait. You know what, Doc, I checked my blood sugar. I'm not talking about blood sugar. The last thing that will go wrong is your blood sugar. Your body will do everything to keep your blood sugar in a very, very, very tight range. So don't wait for people that check their blood sugar every 5 minutes drive me insane. I tell people, you're a diet, boy, what are you doing that for? I want to know what my blood, well, that'll make you tired just looking at it all the time. Quit looking at it all the time. Are people that take their blood pressure 20 times a day, why are you doing that? You want to get your stress levels up? Whoa. Quit doing that all the time. That's brought to you by the pharmaceutical companies. That you want you to use those lancets 5 times a day. It costs $1 every time you use it. Or your blood pressure. Anyway, I didn't say not to take your blood pressure. I said quit taking it every 5 minutes. Anyway, okay. But guess what? One of the symptoms of insulin resistance, high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, you're a carboholic, almost invariably. It's a classic sign of metabolic syndrome. You got high triglycerides, you are a carboholic. Put your hand up and say, my name is Tony and I'm a carboholic. Put your hand up and say it. Because if you're a carboholic, you're going to secrete a lot of insulin in a day, and eventually, it don't take long. Your cells go, hey, get out of here, insulin. But insulin says, no, I got a job to do. If I got to bring the whole army in, I'm bringing the whole army in. It's the way your body works, guys. And then your body starts screaming at you to tell you there's something wrong. You have pain unexplained. You have insulin resistance. A lot of people get a lot of pain and fibromyalgia and all that. I say, well, you know what? That's your insulin doing that. So change your diet. Change your diet. You got high levels of uric acid? Look at your joints. You know, you got little bumps on your joints, that's osteoarthritis. No, it's not. It's uric acid crystals. You got insulin resistance. Men, listen, Larry, not Linda. Listen, Larry, listen. You know what? You have erectile dysfunction. You have insulin resistance. Because insulin resistance creates inflammation, and inflammation starts to affect, number one, your capillaries. Your capillaries are so tiny that red blood cells got to march in single file in order to get through them. They're tiny. But that's what's at the root of erectile dysfunction, men. 100%. And the answer is not the blue pill. The answer is insulin. Change your diet. Ladies, polycystic ovarian disorder, PCOS, it's insulin and estrogen. Fix your diet. Why do you think doctors put women on metformin, which is a diabetic drug for PCOS? You got ovarian pain, ladies? You got cystitis, bladder, insulin. These are check your engine signs. That's why they're so important. High blood pressure. Oh, here's another one. Acid reflux. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Yep. You got acid reflux? I'm telling you, 99.9% is because you're a carboholic and your cells don't like insulin anymore. And it's creating inflammation in this area. And your body is trying to up its acidity by sending it into your esophagus. And when you fix your diet, you fix it, lower your insulin. Guys and girls, listen. You have fat around your belly, do you? You have fat on your hips, in your back. You know, you got a little roll, right? You know what that is? Remember what insulin does? It's a storage hormone. And when the cells are full, you know what it does? It sends it into the liver. And when the liver is full, guess what it does? It makes fat cells. Insulin makes fat cells. It has an ability to make as many fat cells as it wants. And a lot of people are skinny, by the way, and they're very unhealthy because they have insulin resistance, and their fat is invisible. It's around their organs. They didn't know that. Oh, doc, I'm skinny. Yeah, that don't mean you're healthy. That doesn't mean you're healthy. You got high blood pressure? Oh, yeah, I my blood pressure. Well, you take a med, and I'm not saying don't take your meds. I would never tell you that. All I'm saying is change your diet. Get at the root problem. Get at the root of it. Okay. Men, enlarged prostate. Remember what I've been telling you? There's two hormones that want you dead. Insulin is food, and estrogen is a womanly hormone. But men get trouble with their prostate because of insulin and estrogen. Ladies, breast, we talked about this. Your breast cells absolutely adore estrogen and insulin. Why do we see so much breast cancer today? 1 out of 6? 1 out of 3 North Americans, listen to what I'm going to say. 1 out of 3 North Americans will get cancer in their lifetime. 1 out of 3. It's astounding. But guys, it's not genetics. Was it yesterday? I don't remember. I don't remember anything anymore. I don't know what day it is. Every day is the same. I don't know what day it is. So I don't know when I told you. Remember I said that genetics, if you've read any of my books in the past, I've said genetics amount to less than 5%. So meaning my mother had breast cancer, therefore I'm more susceptible to get breast cancer. Genetics took over medicine in the 1980s and the 1990s. Genetic, right? Your genetics, they're not even that important. Not really. Because you know what the newest research is showing? It's only 2%. So if your mama had Alzheimer's, you're only 2%. 98% is not chance. It's food. You can override your genetics with your diet. The secret diet your doctor won't share with you. I can't wait for my new book to come out. Okay, so men, prostate. Yeah? 1 out of 4 men after the age of 50 in North America will get prostate cancer. Not if you don't give it bad things to grow. See, insulin is a food hormone. So if you watch what you eat, you can control that. Not easy. One thing I would admit 100% with you. What I'm saying to you is very simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy because we're surrounded by carbohydrates, right? The world is carb crazy. It is. And, like I've talked to you in the past, that the world changed everything. Man-made food, they changed the fat, they changed the oils, they changed the sugar. See, sugar today is not what sugar used to be. And insulin is such a big problem. Somebody asked me yesterday, Doc, can I use honey? Yeah, not much. Not much honey. Honey, don't eat much honey. It's better than crappy sugar, no doubt. But when it comes to insulin, and if you got any trouble with insulin, that's why you hear Dr. Martin and nobody else tell you to limit your fruit. Don't eat bananas as much as you like them. Yeah, not if you got any of those symptoms that we talked about, belly fat, fatty liver, bad triglycerides, low HDL. That's the only two lipids I am interested in. I say it again and again and again and again and again. Repeat, repeat, and rinse. Repeat and rinse, repeat and rinse. Because the only 2 blood tests as far as your lipids are concerned are, what are your triglycerides? Because that's food. You don't make triglycerides without eating. And it tells you what your insulin is doing. So, when someone says, Doc, you can get your A1C tested. I like it. If you're over 5.7, you got big time insulin resistant. But you know what I find more accurate? Let me see your blood work. Let me see what your triglycerides are. Let me see what your HDL is. HDL is good cholesterol. You want to have high good cholesterol. And bad cholesterol isn't really cholesterol at all. Bad cholesterol is triglycerides. Triglycerides. 3 fats. Okay? Now, migraines. Now, estrogen, ladies, dominance can give you a migraine. But the perfect combo is elevated estrogen and elevated insulin. You get a migraine. What is migraine? Inflammation in the brain. Now, dehydration can be a factor, but what dehydrates you? Big time. What changes your salts in your body? Your electrolytes. Insulin. It has a major effect because of the capillaries at your kidney level. And when you have a high sugar diet, high crappy carb diet, guess what your kidneys release? Magnesium, potassium. You pee it out. Now you've got trouble with your electrolytes. That can give you a cascade of problems, including migraines. But you have to bring it back farther, because I was listening yesterday on Sirius in my car. There was a commercial on for a new migraine medication. And I felt like calling in and saying, you know what a medication is? Cut your stinking carbs down. Amazing what happens. Change your diet. Well, we only got a few of them, but I'm already out of time here. Okay? Here's another one. I'm just going to end with this because I'm at, how many did I do? If I say this one, we're at 11. 18 is how many I have. Here's another one. Tinnitus. Tinnitus. You know what tinnitus is? Bzzz in your ear. Tinnitus. It's caused by inflammation. You got to bring it another step though. Inflammation, remember. Inflammation is not, it's not Houdini. Inflammation doesn't come on its own. Inflammation comes when your insulin is too high. You have insulin resistance. because your cells don't like insulin. You used it too much. Okay, so those are some of the warning signs. And this is why I'm so excited. You can change all this. The new research is showing that within 6 days, you're not even going to finish your first week of the reset, and you're going to start correcting this right away. It don't take the 4 weeks. The 4 weeks will cement this. Because I always tell people, okay, when you're on the reset, you're sending your pancreas to Hawaii on a holiday, to Hawaii. Say goodbye, love. It's going for a rest. Yeah. Okay. Guys, love you. So we appreciate it. We want the feedback, guys. We love you. Okay? And I mean that. We really appreciate. You got questions? We're here for you. Okay? Our staff, they love that. It's their job. They enjoy it. You know, I tell my staff, I said, you know, you guys have a big influence on people. With all your encouragement and all this and that, this is good. So we try and be very proactive in your life, right? To help out. You know, so thanks for watching again. Love you guys.
You've reached the end of another Dr. is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.